is from Colin Finlay.
Finlay.
Finlay. It was taken in Sarajevo in 1996, and this is from Colin's caption. After the ceasefire, children close to the front lines played jump rope with an old piece of telephone wire. Resilience and the ability to overcome their circumstances leads to fleeting moments of pure joy. And Colin is I think listening in. I've unmuted you, Colin. So I'm going to let the panelists give their impressions first, and if anyone has a question for you, please.
Thank you, Joe. Well, Collins, I know your work very well. We've worked side by side, and one of the things that I think you really understand beyond just timing is the ability to put people in their natural context. You know, I mean, this is just one of those images that it could have gone simple and plain, but you always find a way to lift it up again. Congratulations, a beautiful image.
Well, it's really interesting too, because the whole backdrop are these, is this building that's just kind of bombed out, is filled with the pockmarks of bullets from the war, and yet there's this joyful thing going on in front of it. So that also alludes to this idea of hope and joy can exist
same place
in spite of this horrible thing that goes on. And that was a horrible war. Yeah, horrible war.
Just an incredible image with all of the content that Maggie and Carl were describing, and then just incredibly well placed. The elements in this picture just incredibly well placed. I've always loved this picture.
Yes, Colin. The one thing that I seem to take away from this picture and the enjoyment that I get from it is that it symbolizes to me that the hope is in the younger generation. It's just one of those things that's passed from generation to generation, and as a parent, it's the one thing that we hold on to for our children.
Yeah. And the use of scale. Look how you use it to scale when you move from center focus and you start moving to the left, the right of the frame, and it gets smaller and smaller, and you have this huge building, like Maggie referred to, that's totally been, a victim of war. And building is damaged, but not the people.
Mm.
Or they're not going to let it affect their sense of hope.
Colin, you want to tell us a little bit how this photo came about?
Yeah, I mean, I was in Sarajevo working on an assignment for Natural History magazine, and it's crazy in terms of hope. God, I had 15 cameras donated from Canon and had probably 300 rolls of film donated from Kodak, and I went over to put those cameras into the hands of the children who survived the siege of Sarajevo. So in terms of hope, it was also giving hope to these children, how they were going to see their new world as they emerged from the aftermath of this war. And then it just took off in so many different directions. It became a half-hour documentary, those exhibitions and whatnot. So there was a whole backstory to this entire, program and the entire project. But, Sarajevo was never a war that you just, stepped into. It bled from the inside out, and I bled with it each and every time I lifted my camera. That search for hunger, that frozen truth, that one moment, crystalline moment of hope. And obviously I was photographing during the war when it was going on, and then its aftermath. So it was multiple trips for me to Sarajevo and Mostar. So it was always in search of those moments, Carl. And I certainly found them with you too in Haiti on our first trip there.
Yes,
really powerful memories of that, man. You've been a true brother for God almost 28 years.
I've been blessed, my brother. Been blessed.